So Tina, welcome, or should I say welcome back. I think we did this like, what, 2.5 years ago?
Yeah, it's great to be back. Thanks for having me.
You have to know this. I tell people all the time, they say, Bill, you really do a good job on social media. And I say, well, that's very kind of you, but here's the deal. I have one chord that I play, and it's called Facebook. And that's it. Facebook has been game changing for me, and I know it has been for you. So we're going to dig into that in a few minutes. But the reason I mentioned Facebook at the top of the interview is I want folks to go and friend you and like you. So help them. Nobody's going to spell your name correctly, so help them get there.
Sure. Okay. So to friend or even just follow me on the personal side, which is actually the best way to see what I do,
Yeah.
you just search for Tina Beliveau. So the last name is Beliveau.
Perfect.
And then my team, so I wear two awesome hats in my professional life. I run a sales team called the Beliveau Group, and I'm also the co-team leader, co-managing director of a Keller Williams franchise called Keller Williams Legacy, one of the fastest growing Keller Williams franchises in history. So I've got some really great things that I get to do every day.
So cool.
Yeah, thank you. So on the real estate side of things, my team is called the Beliveau Group of Keller Williams Legacy.
Yep.
Just like my last name, and look that up, follow that page as well.
Cool. Yeah, I appreciate that. And I love the legitimacy that those two hats give you, because you're current in the market today while you're recruiting and leading. And one of the things that I most often share, Tina, with my clients about what you do is your talent acquisition strategy. And so I would love I just want to jump into the interview there. I would love for you to describe for people a little bit about how you do that. I mean, the old way would be run an ad someplace, I guess, Craigslist or whatever it might be, seeking this person who can type 62 words a minute and word skills. And tell us how do you put out the word for the type of talent that you're looking for?
Looking for talent, I have discovered that it is the exact same philosophy that works well for me in growing my real estate business. Just the other day, we were going back to, Gary Keller's millionaire real estate agent model of leads. Sorry, the foundation is leads, and then you've got a triangle of listings and leverage. And one thing I've realized is that foundation of leads ideally will go towards listings and leverage all of the time.
Yep.
And the way that I generate that is the same process. So I know that good people know other good people, and that has always been the most successful way for us to find team members for the Beliveau Group, associates for Keller Williams Legacy, and anything in between. So we go with a completely referral-based strategy, and essentially we come up with our message and our marketing pieces and then leverage those in very specific formats. So social media posts, I also love the Facebook chord. I play a couple other chords, but Facebook is like the one. So we put that out on an image on Facebook, and I'm really purposeful about everything that goes into it. The image itself, the wording, the call to action, and a reminder to people to share it. So I made a really big push for people to share it. I actually did other postings saying, hey, did you see that post? Please share it. And we had like 25 people share it in just a couple hours.
So
and
cool.
Sure enough, the talent referrals have been flowing in all week. And some people where I'm like, oh, you're interested? And people I haven't gotten referrals from before. So using that, we actually just upgraded the career section of our website, thebeliveaugroup.com.
Yep.
Anyone who wants to check it out, I would actually love your feedback, because it's just a work in process. But I realized it wasn't fully communicating the value proposition of the team.
Great.
So, what opportunities, being very visual, what do they get by being here? What's our culture like? What are our values? How do we give back? So it all comes back to telling a compelling story that is completely authentic, but people aren't going to get it if you don't tell them the story.
Totally.
So it's there. It's in our email signatures. We're sending, we have a 36 touch of, messaging that goes out to our database, and the opportunity is there at the top, front and center, with really clear instructions of how to make a referral. So yeah, it's basically leveraging social media, email. I take images that are like ads and I text them to my top advocates to get on their radar. And then there's no substitute for having conversations with allied resources, top advocates, and people that are in the industry that would be likely to have referrals for me.
So Tina, like, I'm exhausted.
I'm like, oh, I'm just getting started, man.
The ad that you're running right now, it says it's 4 quadrants with a circle in the middle. Says career opportunity bonanza.
It's
right?
a bonanza.
Yeah, I love that. And then you've got 4 different messages that you're sending there, and you always do a great job of your text description and then emojis that you throw in, right? You got little bags of cash around the cash
Yeah.
cash reward. It's fantastic, and rocket ships, right? Because that's where you're going, obviously. And look, the truth of the matter is, the vast majority, I don't know the number, but this is where they're seeing it. They're seeing this ad here, and so all of that translates beautifully on mobile devices, which is where people are seeing it. I just want people to hear this, because as a coach, Tina, here's what I hear. Well, I really need somebody, but man, I don't know where to start. I don't know where I would find that person. How would I do that? And
that's like a discovery process. And, even 2 years ago, I was not nearly, so I learned all of this through trial and error and some pain, or doing the Indeed, LinkedIn, Craigslist ads, which have their place.
Sure.
And it did not make the difference for us to find the people that we need to find.
Yeah.
So we're looking for that. We're also hiring agents for our team. And, my other large hat of, running Keller Williams Legacy is looking for great growth-oriented agents who want to be in a productivity-specific environment.
For sure.
With first-class people and tools and technology. So there are opportunities within the brokerage side for office staff, people that want to grow their leadership, maybe see themselves being a recruiter or in some other format of leadership someday. And that's all in that image that you just shared for me on Facebook this morning. So thank you.
Oh, yeah.
And
so pleasure.
we're serious about being in business with growth-oriented people who want to do big, big things.
Fantastic. It's such a great, unique selling proposition, and such a differentiator in the market. So tell us a little bit about 2017 as we record this interview, looking towards the end of 2017. What would you project your closed volume in terms of units and volume to be?
Yeah, so I'll just give you like a really brief biography for anyone who hasn't heard my story. I've been a licensed agent since 2005, full-time since 2007. Built a practice somewhat slowly by referral. It was not an overnight process by any stretch. I did not have the systems and tools that I am exposed to now. It certainly would have been faster if I had. And in 2013, I was selling about 15 million in closed volume annually, which in my market was about 60 transactions a year. And I had a full-time assistant, but I was kind of ripping my hair out. My business was extremely buyer heavy. It was like 80 to 90% buyer.
Wow.
I always tell people I was working 8 days a week. I just gotten married and felt like, wow, I don't know if I want to sell more because this doesn't really work that well.
Right.
And a friend of mine I'll always be grateful to, Seth Daly, put the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book in my hands, which is always next to me on the table here. And I read the book and I was like, oh my gosh, this is it.
Yeah.
And it was like I was like a woman possessed, and I went to work implementing the models, the lead generation model of being more structured about how I could create my business reliably, the economic model of how to structure everything, the organizational model of who I was going to hire. And in a year, my business went from 15 million to 32 million in closed transactions. Wow. And then the next year, 48 million. So fast forward, I eventually affiliate with Keller Williams, found the right place for me, and spent about a year restructuring my team to work better, because what happened was I built a team, but there were a lot of things inside of that I did without a lot of guidance.
Sure.
So I spent about a year retooling everything, and it's the best thing I ever did. And then about a year ago, I was offered the opportunity to come on staff at Legacy as a team leader, a recruiter. So at that point, I stopped producing. So last year, we sold 143 homes, and this year, I have not been on a listing or buyer appointment for 13 months now.
Wow.
Which is kind of mind-blowing.
Right.
And it's been a great move for me. It's created way more opportunity for those within my team, and they've really stepped up. So this year, we're on track to sell just about the same number of homes without any production by me.
So cool.
Yeah. So it'll be like 40 million, give or take,
great.
This year, volume-wise.
What happened is you were introduced to thought leadership which demonstrated to you some of the predictability of systems, proven systems that work if applied. And you're just like, I see this so often with top producers, having done this for so long, is that while you are creative and you do have a lot of your own innovation that you do, it is so easy to just say, well, that totally works. That makes sense to me. I'm going to implement that. Like, show me a recipe that produces a chocolate cake, right?
Oh, yeah. And it's still my greatest challenge because I do have a creative mind. And I was just talking with my counterpart, Vlad Katz, this morning about it because we've been in creativity on some things. And, the inconsistency is a killer. And it saps time and energy. So, keeping that focus makes the difference. And like the one thing I've learned is be consistent with my database referral approach, my 36 touches a year, all of that. And I can screw up a lot of other things. And I do every day. Good. But if I can be consistent with the foundation, like it makes all the difference between $1 million, commission year and a $200,000 commission year.
I love that you said that so succinctly and clearly. And I really want agents to hear that. So I want people to understand when you say 40 million, understand that if somebody's got a $600,000 average sales price and they hear you say that, they're like, well, that's good. But what they need to know is your average sales price is $300,000, right?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. So for me, with my, you're in Baltimore, D.C., that's sort of your world, right? Mine is the nation. And so I want people to really own the unit count. And so, So the units again this year that you would expect to close by the end
projecting between 140 and 150.
Yeah. So like spectacular. I mean, that's fantastic. They should probably also hear what your goal is. Like, where would you like to take this?
500 units a year within the next 2 years.
Nice.
And what I see as the next level for us is we'll continue to expand our database, yet partnering with other experienced or even somewhat experienced agents who want to basically plug their database into our proven system. And have their time back and leverage the ops staff. It's like you said, what do I do today? I still perform the 5 jobs of a real estate agent on the recruiting side. I lead generate, I lead follow up, I go on appointments, I get agreements signed, and I take care of the key relationships. And then to run the team, I do that. It's just talent.
It's great.
So it's hiring, and then the agents within the team do the rest.
But it's a parallel path, like you say. It's the same. Same path, same trajectory.
It's the same thing.
So I'm intrigued because you wrote it in the pre-interview questionnaire. You've said it now. And this is probably me just not being current in the Keller Williams world. But I remember 33 touches. And you're talking about 36. So educate me.
Yeah. So there are millionaire real estate agents being revised. Studies have been updated to see, I think it was published around 2000. I might be off a little bit, but, times have changed a lot since then, obviously. So there are a couple key themes. The number of touches needed per year to be successful has been upgraded to 36. And one of the biggest differences that will be coming out is leveraging video. So the idea is that you would have a touch every other week. So 26 of those annual touches should be video.
Wow.
And then the basics haven't changed. It's making calls, having client events, promotional materials, holiday card, birthday card, things like that add up. We actually perform more than 36 touches in a year. Yet that's like the foundation. And then there are our higher level advocates receive even more value than that.
Sure. So your database is tiered and you kind of give your best to your best. Is that a fair assessment?
Yep.
Yeah.
Indeed.
People will connect with you now. I mean, the cool thing about social is they really can connect with you. And, I remember you telling me 2.5 years ago, I'm going to paraphrase this poorly, but you said something along the lines of, we have a relationship with the buyer, for example, could be the seller as well, but let's go with the buyer for the moment, through the course of the transaction. And then traditionally, once that was done, you were sort of done. You said something along the lines of, well, actually, I'm just developing the relationship during the transaction, and the relationship just continues on social afterwards, like it would with any other friend or a relationship that I had developed. Isn't that kind of how you feel about using social with relationships?
Yeah. And the other piece of it is actually, I loved buyer representation because the bond and the relationship you develop is actually really strong. And I would actually feel sometimes disappointed, sometimes even hurt after the transaction when I would keep up with people and it would be awkward or a little bit weird or I would miss the connection because there's an intensity to that relationship for that period of time. And, through social media, I can maintain, it's not the same, but I can maintain a pretty high quality connection and see when they got married, when they got engaged, when they had a baby, when a pet passed away, like whatever's happened,
Yep.
they've won an award. And then I can, feel connected, stay connected, reach out to them. It might not actually be through Facebook. It's their birthday. Like I might call them.
Nice.
I've been known to leave a birthday song voicemail once in a while. If you really know me well. But seriously, it's a game changer. Sometimes people around me who, aren't in real estate, they're like, oh, I hate Facebook, or I got rid of Facebook. I'm like, I can't imagine not having it.
Yeah.
It's such a tool of connection for me.
I totally
agree. And then same
agree.
thing within our market center and, staying connected with our agents and our top producers and providing value and knowing what's going on with them. I just can't imagine not having it.
Yeah. I do a talk called 5 Stars Matters, and it's based on reviews. And I know that you feel strongly about that, because one of the questions that we had for you for the interview was, what other kind of marketing do you do? And it was like, well, besides 33 Touch, we just build our reviews, and that's free. And I am a fan of free. So I think most people know that this is a good play, but I'd really love to hear how you have systematized that, and how do you approach that?
Yeah, so we've gotten even more purposeful with it than ever. So we have a metric of how many 5-star online reviews our operations team is accountable to generating each month. It's
nice.
15.
Wow.
We have 5 key platforms that we focus on. We direct people right to those platforms and ask them to write an authentic review about their experience. And there's a lot built around it. There are calls that are made. There's an email template. There's a follow-up process if they don't do it. And we're always getting feedback throughout the way so we can course correct if there are disconnects that ever happen.
Cool.
And, one of our team members, it's her job to make sure we get the 15 per month.
So
and
good.
Just this week, so she's been in the role for 2 months, and we were basically reviving some of our review accounts. It hadn't been a focus, and we had some, but it wasn't like firing on all cylinders. So we've been putting a lot of effort into it, and it's work. There have been conversations in the team like, are we going to talk about reviews again? And then this week, someone calls and says, you had the most reviews on Yelp. Can you please come list my house? And it was a come list me like that. And I said, this is like just the beginning of the effort we're putting in.
Love that.
And it's that, that long-term focus versus bouncing around
for sure,
idea to idea, platform to platform.
Yep.
And I was feeling just fulfilled by seeing that.
Absolutely.
Said to the team, like, hey guys, yeah, because it's work for everyone.
I'm so proud of you, and I love to hear you say that, and I love that you have a monthly goal for it. That's spectacular. First time I've ever heard anybody say that.
It's actually a standard.
I love that. Love that. So Yelp, Google, Zillow,
Yelp,
Facebook.
Google, Zillow, Facebook, and Angie's List.
Would never have considered Angie's List. Mm-hmm. So Tina, here's my final question for you. Everybody knows that there's this unique relationship with mortgage lenders and realtors. What's important to you about that relationship?
So I think it's the service they provide to the borrowers, and then how they can provide value to the team.
Yeah.
So on the borrower side, it would be nothing earth-shattering aside from great quality service. I think the thing that makes the difference in the lenders we like to work with and in the systems that we actually implement that are parallel are automated, consistent, predictable, reliable updates to the point where you never have an incoming inquiry of what's happening.
Love that. Yep.
Yeah.
So smart.
So we have a system, we call it our Milestone Process, and every week our pending clients get an email on Thursday from our transaction concierge and a call on Friday. And the call is to follow up on the email and make sure that, they might not have seen it, or they might have a bunch of questions, and it's not just assuming, I sent an email, it's enough. And the beauty of that is our agents leverage that. So when a property goes under contract, the transaction concierge, which is a staff person, takes the file, and all the agent does is negotiate and troubleshoot. Go to closing.
So good.
FaceTime, get referrals, build a relationship. So I think, as much as a lender can mirror that, and, I see very few mortgage professionals that generate referrals, and or they might be spreading it between many people, which I completely get. Yet I think it's a huge lost opportunity of, if I see a 33 or 36 touch from a lender, whew,
Right.
the quality leaves something to be desired. I'm not aware of a single lender in our market that's doing video. I might not be on those newsletters, but so I think
Yeah.
it just comes back to the things we've already talked
For
about
sure. Yeah.
and providing value. Well, so creating value for the real estate agent or something that the real estate agent can take on to their client.
Yeah.
So it would even be, the next level from a video like this. So that's one thing. And that goes into the value that you're providing the agent. And if
Right.
it isn't that, then what is it?
Sure.
Is it support? Is it training? Is it supporting events that we're hosting? Is it co-hosting open houses together? I mean, there's so many creative ways to do it, but it's also understanding what they want versus making an offer. And that might not be what matters to that agent.
Love it. And the meaningful pause, right? That's what I'm doing here. And I'm going to take my glasses off now to add emphasis so that people get it. She didn't say a thing about rates or programs or mortgage-backed securities.
Or Zillow leads.
Or Zillow leads. It's more about partnership, I guess, is what I'm saying, than anything else. And it doesn't have to be as much of a chase as we think. It's more of what Tina has said from the beginning, and that is connecting with the right people and creating relationship by creating value. So, Tina.
Can I add something to that?
Oh, by
real
all
quick?
means.
And I think that's what I've learned in this business working, I'm working with other agents and, exposing them to the value of what this office has to offer.
Yep.
And every agent needs one of two things. They either need to make more money or they need more time.
For sure.
And most people would say both, but there's always something that overrides it. So just a thought for loan officers in the conversations you are having with agents, like what is their biggest pain point? Because if I need more time, I don't actually want to talk to you about Zillow.
Right.
However, if you can help me get my open houses staffed, if you can refer talent to my team
Yep.
on the sales or operations side, like those are things that make the difference
Such
for what
a great
I'm
point.
up to.
Such a great point. Best of luck in all that you do. Thanks for making the time to be with us again today. You so rock.
Thank you. And thanks for everyone for watching. Please follow me on Facebook. If you want to follow up with me, if you have a talent referral, if you're interested in my team and our brokerage, if you just have questions, email is also a great way to get me. My email is very easy. It's Tina Bell, TINABEL @kw.com.
Very smartly played there, by the way.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Tina.